This is AI Command App news for Monday, June 22nd. Here are the AI and tech stories moving markets today and what they mean for your business. No hype, just what happened and why it matters. Our lead story is a deal that tells you where the AI race is really being fought. Chevron has signed a 20-year natural gas agreement with Microsoft to power a massive new AI data center in Texas. Sit with that for a second. A software company that spent years branding itself as carbon negative is now locking in 2 decades of fossil fuel because the models it's building consume electricity on the scale of a small city. The business takeaway is bigger than one contract. The AI boom has quietly become an energy story. The companies that win the next phase won't just have the best algorithms, they'll have secured the power to run them, and big tech is becoming one of the largest new buyers of natural gas in America in the process. The same morning, construction giant CRH announced an $8.5 billion deal to buy Arcosa, a key supplier to GE Vernova's power business. More money flowing toward the grid that AI now depends on. For investors, the signal is clear. The AI trade and the power trade are becoming the same trade. That demand is running into resistance on the ground. Wired reports that some electricians now view building data centers as selling out, as local opposition to these facilities spreads. The lesson for business leaders. The real constraint on AI over the next few years may not be chips or talent. It may be power, permits, and politics. Next, the adoption story. Samsung Electronics is rolling out ChatGPT Enterprise and OpenAI's coding tool Codex to employees worldwide, one of the largest corporate AI deployments to date. And in China, Tencent has begun testing an AI assistant inside WeChat, the app a billion people already use every day as it races to catch its rivals. When companies this size standardize on AI, every competitor feels the pressure. But notice the hard part of these rollouts. It was never the model. It's whether the company's own data is connected and clean enough to be useful. The winners here will be the organizations whose information actually lives in one place. Turning to the markets, and a moment of history. Alan Greenspan, who chaired the Federal Reserve for roughly 19 years under 4 presidents, has died at the age of 100. Greenspan practically invented the careful, deliberately vague communication style traders nicknamed Fed speak. Why it matters today: every investor who watches a single Fed sentence move trillions in market value is living in the world Greenspan built. Markets were cautious today, and for harder reasons too. The Dow wavered as the United States and Iran moved toward a 60-day peace roadmap brokered through Qatar and Pakistan, with oil swinging on tensions around the Strait of Hormuz. The 10-year Treasury yield ticked up toward 4.48% ahead of fresh inflation data, and SpaceX stock kept sliding, cooling for a second straight session after its record-breaking IPO on June 12th. The reminder for investors is an old one. Even the most hyped offering eventually trades on fundamentals, not excitement. Add political turbulence abroad. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer resigned this morning, the 6th British PM of the decade, and you have a market being driven by macro and geopolitics, not by the next model release. Deal-making is heating up beyond energy, too. AbbVie announced it's acquiring Apogee Therapeutics for $10.9 billion, betting big on an experimental eczema treatment and next-generation immunology. 2 multi-billion-dollar acquisitions in a single morning across biotech and industrials tell you something simple. Capital is moving again. Companies are choosing to buy growth rather than wait for it. And finally, the AI policy story worth your attention. TechCrunch is asking a pointed question. When the Trump administration cracks down on Anthropic, who benefits? Regulatory pressure on a leading AI lab isn't just a Washington story. It redraws the competitive map for every company that depends on these models. The timing is sharp, too. Anthropic's own status page logged elevated error rates across its Opus and Sonnet models this weekend. Put those together and you get the quiet risk inside the AI gold rush: concentration. When your entire operation runs on a single AI provider, that provider's outages and its regulatory exposure quietly become yours. The smart posture for 2026 isn't betting everything on one perfect vendor. It's staying flexible enough that no single vendor can take you down. Here's the through line across today's news. Power, policy, and provider risk have all become business risks, not technical footnotes. The leaders who plan for that, who own their infrastructure, connect their data, and keep their options open, are the ones who'll compound an advantage while everyone else is renting one. That's your AI news for today from AI Command App. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ew.